One teacher, 5 kids, 20 years. What if I told you that one person helped shape all 5 of my children? Not a coach, not the pastor, not even a family member. It was a kindergarten teacher. Think about it. Most teachers may have a student for 1 year. Maybe they remember their name. Maybe they remember their face. But what happens when a teacher teaches every child in the same family? What happens when that person becomes a part of the family story over 20 years? Today we're talking about someone who did exactly that. Mrs. Genie Merrer taught Jeremiah. She taught Olivia. She taught Cabby. She taught Michael. And she taught that superhero David. The cycle is complete. Well, unless me and Adele decide to have more.
Empowering you to live a life fully charged. This is 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life with L.J. Tucker.
We spend a lot of time celebrating athletes, celebrities. We celebrate successful business owners. But there are people quietly changing lives every single day without ever making the headlines. Teachers are some of those people. The reality is that every doctor, lawyer, entrepreneur, arborist, business owner, pastor, and leaders started in somebody's classroom. Someone taught them how to read, taught them their ABCs. Someone taught them how to believe in themselves. And for my family, Mrs. Merrer is that person. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Merrer. Welcome back to the show, Mrs. Merrer.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you again.
We're glad to have you. You know, the kids they're so excited. They've been bugging Adele about having another child. And for some reason, she's starting to talk to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, you may have another one that you may have to teach.
You have a time limit because I'm retiring in about 6 years. You better get on to business.
Oh, man. I will let her know that. You hear this, Adele? So today is not just another interview. You know, we want to talk about just life lessons of being that teacher. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many families of 5 that you've been able to teach. Like, how has that been for you?
I think being able to teach families that have multiple children is very unique, and it is not something that's often occurs. I've had another family that had 4 kids, so I think you're the winner with 5. Yes. But I think it's so unique because having Jeremiah first and getting to know you as a parent, and then you had a little space of time before you had more kids, just getting involved with your family, I remember going to Olivia's birthday party, and she had her friends there from class, and you guys were there with Gabby, and you had Michael, and just grabbing on to the baby and holding him and just enjoying your family outside of school is also a unique opportunity that I had to have with you guys.
Over the years, we have different guests. I have doctors, I have lawyers. You're one of my favorites because you're the kids' favorite, and it's like just Olivia, she just got her driver's license. Mm-hmm. She's going into the 10th grade. Mm-hmm. And that relationship, she's like, if there's an event at the school and she's not busy, she's like, I want to go see Mrs. Merrer.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And so, well, that's the connection. And in fact, I heard Mackenzie, he wasn't there at Gabby's 5th grade graduation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Mackenzie, she just graduated high school recently. Mm-hmm. And she gave the speech at the 5th grade graduation. Mm-hmm. And then she did a phenomenal job. And she's like, I want to thank Mrs. Merrer. She's like my favorite person. In fact, she's supposed to be coming on to the show.
Oh, that'll be great.
Here pretty soon. And so it just to see the fruits of your labor. Mm-hmm. Like that's always, when I mentor and work with people, everybody's not always going to turn out as perfect. Everybody's not going to be here, but you have a lot of successful people. But when you see those that excel, mm-hmm. it does wonders because it's like, okay, what I'm doing is good. I am making a difference. in making a purpose in somebody's life.
Yep, absolutely.
So one of the first questions I want to ask you, what do you love most about helping children during the early years?
I think the early years are one of the most impressionable years. They come to school with lots of enthusiasm. They love learning. They love to have fun. And what I do is teach them more than just learning how to read and write, but teaching them how to be a good little human being as well. But seeing their joy for what they've learned and accomplished things, we call those the light bulb moments. When someone doesn't get something for a while, and it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, but when they finally get it, and they just kind of look up and they're like, oh yeah, now I got it. And it's like, that's the aha, the ding that just kind of lights them up, which in turn lights me up to make me think, wow, you finally did it, and helping them feel good and successful about how they finally reached that moment. Some kids have light bulb moments all throughout the year, and other times it's not until the very end, but they finally get there. So that's one thing that's enjoyable about teaching young children is they have lots of opportunities to have those aha moments when they're learning.
So you went from the superhero teacher to the rock star teacher. I heard it's a waiting list for your class. Like people begged, like how do they make that happen? Because parents want their kid to be in your class because of the reputation that you've built for yourself.
We've kind of nurtured wanting to have students of families of we've had before. It helps keep that connection going, much like yourself having Jeremiah and then knowing you had more kids coming. It just makes that relationship easier for us to continue the journey for the child because we already know the parents, we already know the siblings, and it's a little bit relatable, like, you know, it's time to go home and they're talking and everyone's talking about this teacher, but we have something in common, Mrs. Merrer. And so you guys come to know what I expect, and I also know what you guys expect from your kids too.
Hey, I'm gonna pop this question on you. When you're tired or overwhelmed, what reminds you why you started teaching?
I think when I'm tired or overwhelmed, I'm lucky to have a great teaching partner, Mrs. Gums, and just having a person to bounce ideas off of, complain to, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of all the things that happen in the day. But at the end of the day, we always ask ourselves, and I ask myself, what's best for kids? What can I do differently the next time? What can I do differently after I pick them up from lunch? Just to make sure that I'm being the best that I can for the children.
Why do you think teachers have such a lasting impact on students? And what lessons do you hope your students remember years after they leave your classroom?
I think teachers have a lasting impression on kids because we are ones that give them all of our attention the entire school day. Yes, there are other kids in the class too, but when we're talking to the entire classroom, we're talking to each individual child. So if you're repeating the things that you expect each day, those are things that they're going to remember. And things like in my kindergarten class, teaching them how to be good listeners, how to be good communicators, how to talk to one another. Hopefully they're taking those skills that I'm giving them in kindergarten beyond just reading and writing, but also how to be a good human being. Hopefully they're going to take those skills when they move on into the next grade. And I also tell them, you don't have to just do this at school. You can also do this at home, or when you're at the store, or when you're on your sports team. You can do these things everywhere, not just in the classroom.
So when former students come back to visit, what is that experience like for you? See, I ask these questions because there's that little boy or that little girl that's thinking about, hey, I want to be a teacher. And so what is that experience like for you?
Well, when kids come back, first of all, it takes me a moment. It's a shock to see that they've grown. So I usually kind of have to reset my mind of like, wait, they're not that little kid that I had anymore. Now they're this older kid in high school or already in college or finished college. But just, understanding what they've been doing, how they're doing, and what they want to be doing next, and just still giving them that positive reinforcement and encouragement, reminding them of how they got through school and how the things that they've done have made them who they are, that they can keep moving forward and keep doing what they dream to do.
There's been moments when former students, or like for me, former employees that used to work for me and now they have their own business, that we've been able to foster, or kids that I've mentored with, and you see them come back and you see the success, and it lights you up inside. And for me, when I mentor or I consult with people, and the first question I ask is like, why do you want to be in business? Why is it you want to do this? Things like, and I listen, and it's like, well, I want to make lots of money in this area and this. I said, well, I can't help you. It's like, what do you mean you can't help me? I said, I don't know how to help you achieve the goals that you want. I can teach you, be a professional,
Right.
And, down the road, it can, having lots of money can be a byproduct of your success. Some people don't get that. They think, oh, I want to be teachers because I get to boss people around, or this is not funny, but when I was incarcerated, I recognized a certain type, and this is a real thing, and this is when you say motives is wrong. There were actually in the prison system or being incarcerated guards that's been bullied all their life. They took the job for redemption. This is my chance to pay back, and I recognized that when I came face to face with an officer, for no reason, he just was. I reminded him something. His mission was to take me down and, make me pay for what he went through growing up. I'm like, whoa, buddy, I don't know what you've been through, but
Right.
I'm not here to cause problems. I made a mistake, and I'm going to move on for it. So once I sensed what was going on, I was like, yeah, I got to be on my P's and Q's, because literally, that's like, I don't know why that just came up, but motives can be wrong. People can want to teach for the wrong reasons, and I don't want to name any of those reasons. I don't want to give conclusions and stuff that's in there, but the motive, when the motive is pure and clean, it's sustainable, and you can enjoy that journey over time.
Yes.
And so that's why, like, when you see, like, how long have you been teaching again?
It's 32 years.
You hear that? 32 years. And you've been at Forest Lakes the whole time?
Forest Lakes for 30.
30. We only had 2 years in Oldsmar without her, y'all. 2 years without her, man. I can't, 30 years, you can't get people to stay 3 weeks on the job. like you can't get people to do one thing long enough. And so that's what makes hiring process easy for me.
Right.
Because when you look at the first thing on the application, well, I don't look at them. What I instruct my staff to look at them. It's like, if they had more than 2 or 3 jobs in a year, just keep moving, keep strolling, because they're not going to stay, and it's going to be a waste of time and resources. As someone who has worked with children for many years, we just established that for 32 years, what advice would you give parents today? What are some of the things families can do at home to support the learning of their kids?
I appreciate that question, because there's a lot of times where I just want to walk up and whisper into someone's ear, like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
I think that parents need to be present for their children.
Yes.
And being present means put away distractions. Turn off the TV, put the electronics away, and just literally be with your children. I know you guys enjoy cooking together. And, I'm sure electronics might be in the background with music or whatnot, but you guys are present and together in the kitchen.
Yes.
Parents being present for their child, listening to everything they have to say, giving them their undivided attention. Also, parents being able to allow their child to make mistakes and let them learn from mistakes. Encourage your children to be independent. Skills at home carry over into school, and when they have good skills at home, they're going to be good students at school. They're going to be ready to do work and learn. So there's a lot of time where I have to sometimes ask the children, so what are you doing when you get home, and hear all the things, and now I know what kind of the direction to go to in a conference or just in a casual conversation. So you might want to, let go of the devices a little bit and get more of a book in their hand, or do more crafts, or do more things, especially if they need fine motor development. Let's not be doing tablets and gaming. Let's get a pencil. Let's get scissors. Let's color. Let's paint. Just giving them other ideas besides what's the easiest.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to put a little bit of work in too.
That's a work in progress, and I try to remember, and that's good advice for me too. And I try to be present, and I am present, but you try to be present even more, because I'm always looking for ways to be better as a parent, a husband, and a business owner. In fact, we went fishing yesterday. We didn't catch any fish. We caught 2 blue crabs though. He was climbing up the wall of the pier dock. So we grabbed the net, and of course the lady like, can we keep him? Can we keep him? I'm gonna keep him as a pet. I said, girl, if he go home, he going in the pot.
That's right.
But we released him back into the water. What qualities do you see in children that often lead to the success later in life?
I think that children that have success later in life have supportive families, parents that are there to encourage their interest, as much as you guys do with your kids, and they're into everything that they're interested in. That helps them decide if it's something they want to stick with or change. You mentioned, Mackenzie in an earlier conversation, just, watching how her parents raised the girls, and just parents being involved in their children's lives makes a big difference in them feeling good about themselves, fosters commitment in the children with whatever they're getting involved in. And for just, again, teaching kids the basics of being a good human being, teaching them to be good listeners, teaching them to focus, teaching them to care about others. It's more than just reading and writing and doing math. It's also teaching kids how to be a good human being.
I'm going off script a little bit, and it's for a reason, because hearing you say this is like, I'm a byproduct of that, directly and indirectly, because I grew up from a family of 5, and we didn't really have that family support. We went to church a lot. We got pulled here. The family support wasn't there when we, whatever sport that we did do later in life. And I mentioned this in my book. And so I'm a no nonsense, no excuse person. And so I'm not making an excuse now. But I did start off on a bad track because I didn't have that type of support. So I gravitated to where I got attention, which led to me making bad choices and decisions. And so as I hear you say these things, it drives it home, because even when I was getting in my troubles and there was something deep inside, I said, man, I know I got it better than this. And by the will of God and just sheer faith, I started striving for that, to give, to create and give. If God blessed me, and if I was fortunate enough to have children, the life that I wanted growing up, the support. And it's important, because now my kids are a byproduct of the vision that I had and what I didn't have growing up.
Right.
And I saw and I see how important that is, because I didn't have it. So it's like, just being involved, me as a parent, is like hitting the lottery, hitting the home run. It's like, there's nothing more important than that. And so thank you for what you've done for my 5. And man, I wish you was my teacher when I was growing up, because man, it wasn't that simple. I was getting rolled up much as I can. It was like, they was trying to get rid of me. It's like, man, we just go throw paperwork at this dude to get him out of the school. So I had my fair share of trials and tribulations, and so I understand firsthand. And I understand, to realize, it's like, there's times that you wanted to move to different areas, but you helped us make a decision to stay here for now, because we like the school, and that's important.
I remember that,
Yeah.
you talking about moving.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can't go. I have to teach all your kids. You can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you stayed too.
Yeah, so that kept us grounded, and we really, from the Tucker family, we really appreciate that. For the community appreciates you. I'm not hogging her all to myself, because you've touched a lot of lives in this community, and that's important. So I don't care where you're at, where you're listening today. If you're looking for a foundation, she gets 6 more years in Oldsmar. Come get in Forest Lake Zone, because it's hard to find. Because sometimes people have the wrong motive. I can't say it enough. They'll go, oh, I'm just getting the paycheck. It's just checking a box. Oh, I don't care about them little snot-nosed little children. They better not get on my nerves today. We see this stuff play out in full circle in society, and we try not to focus on it. This is a podcast of life, how to be positive, and just take something that can help enrich your life so you can live an electrified life. When your teaching career eventually is complete, how would you like to be remembered?
I think I'd like to be remembered for my dedication to the school, dedication to the community through the school, And I hope kids will remember that, when they were in Miss Merrer's class, they had fun, and remember the good experiences. Each person has their own memory of kindergarten, and a lot that I've heard so far are special instances or songs or a field trip, but just definitely remembering something fun and positive that they had experienced with me when they were in school.
For that person that's looking to go into teaching, hopefully for the right reasons, what inspiration, what message do you have for that person that's maybe looking to go into teaching?
I have had the opportunity to mentor students in college. Most recently just had a teacher this spring. I think understanding why they want to be a teacher, and once I kind of know their intentions are pretty pure, they want to be helping kids, working with kids. They like working with kids. I think when they have that good foundation of what they want to be doing in their job, taking that and then making sure that they do like doing the job. It's not easy. Teaching is not easy. A lot of people think it's just walk in, teach, and go home. There's lots of background stuff people don't know about. So making sure that they still have that drive and passion for the other stuff too.
Yes.
Keep their love of wanting to teach and also helping them balance the work part of that too.
Ms. Merrer, before we close today, I want to say something from my heart. There's a few people outside of family who have had the opportunity to influence all 5 of my children. Jeremiah, as we said before, Olivia, Gabby, Michael, and our superhero, David. For over 20 years, you've been a part of our family story. You've encouraged them, you've challenged them, you helped them build their confidence. You celebrated their success, and you helped create memories that will last a lifetime. As parents, we entrust our children to teachers every single day, and that's a tremendous responsibility. We hope that they'll be safe, we hope that they'll learn, and we hope that they'll be encouraged and have done all of those things. The truth is, great teachers don't always see the harvest from the seeds they plant. But I want you to know today that the seeds you've planted in my children have produced fruit. And I'm personally, Adele's personally, we're going to continue watering those seeds because you cared enough to help them believe in themselves. On behalf of my family, thank you. And thank you for choosing your professional because you're really good at it. Thank you for investing in children. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for being one of the everyday superheroes who quietly changed the world one student at a time. I personally, again, on behalf of my family, my children, we want to say thank you because this is you don't see this every day. I'm a product of not having good teachers. Mm-hmm. So to endure what I've seen my children encounter through their time at Forest Lakes, being in your class, them wanting to be and see other children want to be in your class, that's alignment. That you're helping us live an electrified life. And for me, that's what it's all about. And you can't find this every day. And so we say thank you.
It's been a pleasure being a part of your family.
Yes, we appreciate you. Any words of encouragement and that you want to say before we close the show?
I think that in order to live that electrified life, like you said, being true to what you know is good, sticking to beliefs, and persevering and not giving up. And if you make mistakes, use them for growth and build on the knowledge that you learn from mistakes to keep doing better. And I go back to thinking about Michael in kindergarten. He was working on writing and he was getting stuck. And I knew he could do it. I knew he could do it. He didn't know he could do it. Mm-hmm. So a couple days worth of him getting frustrated, he would come over. I'd give him a little bit of support, but not give him the full answer of what he was looking for. And not till he finally did it. And then he said, "Look, Miss Merrer, I did it." I said, "I knew you could do it. Yes. You just had to realize that you could do it." I think persevering and working through the tough times, we'll get there.
Yes.
It happens.
Never underestimate the impact you have. A kind word, a smile, a lesson, a moment of encouragement. Those things can change a life forever. Teachers don't just teach subjects, they help shape futures. And for that, we're grateful. Until next time, remember, words carry voltage. Use yours to encourage, inspire, and uplift others. Be careful, be safe, stay electrified, my friends.
This has been 7,000 Volts, Living an Electrified Life, available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. For more information, visit us on the web at ljtucker.com. Remember, stay electrified.